So when I interviewed him, he gave me his perspective of how the war between the Magnolia and the Calliope started.
Okay.
From his perspective, he said, you know, the homeboy was killed, and pretty much they kind of just put it on the Mag. They just said, yeah, we just gonna assume the Magnolia did it and it's on. How often, before you even speak on that, how often did something like that happen in the city where, particularly, let's just say the hot boys always get blamed for something that's in the air, like nobody knows for sure. How often did that happen?
Very often. That's normal in our city. They'll be like, you know what? You know how you come outside and you cuss and whoever look, oh, he guilty. Or whoever don't pay attention, he the guilty one. Like he got his head like he know what's going on. That's how the yo was. The yo killed my best friend Mosquito bad because they thought in their mind, oh, Mosquito was with that. Mosquito knows something about my homie getting killed. And they went on to crush my best friend. And they, bro, let me tell you, yo have a history of doing that. It's another dude out the mouth. They thought he was the one that spent the bin on Nine Fingers with another dude when Nine Fingers got his thumb shot off, whatever. They thought this particular guy at the mouth did that, right? Crushed him back there. And I was like, they told me, boy, look, see how they crushed that man? Here you in the mouth at it, and soon as we get into it with him, see how fast he got crushed, so I'm like, wow, but you know what I'm saying, y'all big dummy, y'all crushed the wrong guy, but good looking out. You know what I'm saying? So they got a history of that, bro. They gonna crush somebody. You know what I'm saying? Just like when Pornell at the Tent Wall came back in their project, they crushed him. You know, the yo known for busting something up. They don't care who it is. They gonna let them sticks rain.
You told the story before how you went back there and seen Mosquito.
Right.
You know, Calliope Chill said he was out there. He seen you come back there, and yeah, it was just. He said he was out because he said he's the main player. He's the major player out there. He seen you back there, and yeah, I guess from that point on, the beef was on, and so do you? Did I ask this already? If you do you remember seeing him or like having any interaction with him?
No, I've never. I know who he is. I know of him, but we've never just sat down like and talked and kick. A lot of them dudes be scared to be around me, even though they was out the yo. A lot of them ain't trust me, but like the main players, the big dogs, because he ran with the big dogs. Don't get that twisted. I'm not gonna get that twisted. But he know who his big homies is. His big dogs, Capital, Gold that's deceased now, KK, Nine Finger that's in the Fed. Those his big dogs. Randall, those was his big dogs. You know what I'm saying? He just was amongst them though.
Right. So you said the Calliope was known for just crushing people.
Yeah.
So knowing that, when you started beefing with him, when you started going with him, he said he took it back though. He said y'all was hiding, but he said y'all was moving strategically. Did you feel like in that particular beef? What I'm trying to ask is, did you feel like a different type of pressure coming from that side? Like they applying pressure, like they was like the bullies of the third ward.
Yes, that's correct. The yo was known for pulling up, handling business. That's a fact. But I'm happy he did recant that statement hiding, because that's the case. I would have never went in the yo when Mosquito got killed. I would have never been going to the yo, and when I put up on Capitol in the car, and he had his 45 on his lap, he looked at me. I was in my green Q45, and I looked at him, and I was bumping that beat. He got a high that Gangsta, high boy, hard to kill. And he looked at me, I looked at him, and I pulled off in the heart of the Calliope.
Doing beef?
Yeah. But Capital was one of the ones, like, I'm the big dog, I supply the yo. Well, my section of the yo, let me say that, because they got different sections, because there's other dudes that didn't run with them, up there with Galvez, on the other side, they got different cuts, so I'm going to just say that. But, Capital and them sides, back there in Rosetown, back there on Durgeon Wall Street, back of town, what they call, that was his cut. He had to connect, he had to work, you know what I'm saying? So, he passed out to the little homies. But I would say this, they was known. I remember Rudy, who's deceased, who he spoke about on his channel. Rudy and them got money. Now when Rudy, Turkey brother, that's my boy too. He dead now. Byron, Now back when it was coming up in the late 80s, early 90s, oh they was clean. That little crew, they was known for polo battle. They was coming with it because they was under Nap them and all them getting money or rooted and whatever. But the crew I was beefing with, man, listen, they wasn't known for dressing. They were just a bunch of boys. Let me tell you how you can tell when you go to a concert, bro. This anybody can tell you this here. When you go to a concert, you see a bunch of like dudes that look like you, light skin color, pretty boys. Over here, that's the Saint Bernard. When you see a bunch of dudes with dreads, braids, or with beards, that's the Calliope. Bunch of black looking dudes, that's the St. Thomas. Dudes with camouflage on, oh, that's the Magnolia. You could tell who was who in the concerts. And the Yo wasn't known for dressing in our era. They was known for busting their tool. They gonna get some money, but they gonna ride around in a regular car. They wasn't known for no flashy stuff. But like I say, them boys, 3 of them had one got Audis. They did had that run. But Master P had bought them some Intrepids, them little cars. Man, them boys wasn't doing nothing, man. I said that.
So did you? He had spoke about the time where they came through the Magnolia in the heart of the at the top of the beef where they came through and through a second line. And they was just coming through the Magnolia, but you know nothing. They look can't find y'all. They not necessarily looking for y'all, but they don't see nobody. They comfortable coming through.
That's cap. Let me just say this here. There's a lie. Unless when they did that when I went to the feds. Now, I would say I do recall a time after a second line, there was a block party in the Magnolia and ED and a few of them came in there about 5 or 6 cars deep. Stone out there on Magnolia Street, hot, grabbed the chopper, was coming up the driveway, was about to hit, and Stone stopped him. I remember that when he came back then, I felt disrespect. I was like, man, you mean tell me in the heart of the noise and they ain't on the news? What happened? He was telling me how Stone told him don't do it because the children was out. And he thought if he hit at this car, they might come out the other car, hit back at him. That did happen. But them out on foot, this walk, he lying. He capping. And I'm going to tell you another time when KK them parked on the old side of the Magnolia on LaSalle Street, him, eat all those out there, and I found out it was back there. So I had a 270 with a scope on it. It was too big to be running in the daylight with that gun. So I got my 2.9s and I went through the cut. I went over there, come out through the cut, and they were standing on the corner of Washington and LaSalle. So I'm like, I got him. But they were standing next to an old head. They recalled it, they were standing next to an old head. He was jet black. I never get the old head had on a jean outfit. And I was like, man, I don't want to start hitting and this old head get hit. I don't know who family member he is. I don't want nobody getting hit between our beef. So I stood there for a while till somebody spotted me and they were hitting each other. She was like, look, eat all them look. And I was like, yeah, I see y'all. And I just turned back in the cut and just jogged on back on the new side of the president, went back on my side. But I was gonna go to the KK car and flat the tire and crush them right there. But I was like, okay, they on point. Now they know that I see them now, so they gonna be on point. And I don't got time to get in no shootouts. I never was one of the ones, and they'll tell you this, I never did a shootout. I never one of the ones up my gun and get the shooting on. This is a good wilding. I never done that. I never waste my bullet. Only one time, bro, I hit a dude at the tent ward, and he survived. And I pledged allegiance to my gun when I was out there. That whenever I pull it, they was gonna take a dirt nap, and that's just what it was.